Hey, how's it going? It's April 20th, 2022. This is your Daily Sweet Talk. Netflix seems to be imploding lately. Specifically, not specifically, but one part of that is they've been canceling a lot of animation stuff, kind of like restructuring their whole animation department. And they've canceled some projects. City of Ghosts has not been renewed. That might be old news. They were making a Roll Dolls the Twits series, which is not being made anymore. That seemed interesting. So that's kind of a bummer. And probably most relevant to me, um, the Bone series adaptation they were working on is not moving forward. It was moving forward and now it's not. Um, and it probably won't be picked back up. I mean, it's hard to imagine another place where it could be made. Um, I know it has been pitched to other places in the past. I think Nickelodeon, Warner Brothers, for a long time has been like moving around different places and not really finding its footing. Um, Netflix, I think, is probably the best place it could have been made because you kind of need a specific demographic to to pitch a thing to when you're making anything in Hollywood. It seems, unless it's like a more independent thing. But if you're with a studio, it has to be like pitched towards a demographic like children, teens, adults, whatever. Um, when Scholastic distributed the Bone series, it was geared towards kids, but it was still presented as it was as an independent comic. So it's kind of a unique thing that happened because a lot of the stuff that's in Bone probably wouldn't be in it if it was made for kids. It wasn't made for kids. It was just made as its own thing. Um, and I can't really you don't really make things like that in Hollywood. It would be made. It could be made for kids, but they like a lot of the stuff that was in the books probably wouldn't be in it. But I don't know. Netflix has stuff like Stranger Things, which also doesn't really have a clear like it's not that's not made for kids, but kids can watch it. There's some intense stuff, but like I think Bone could be made at Netflix with everything that's in it. Um, but Netflix also doesn't have a great track record with adaptations. Cowboy Bebop, of course, but that's kind of a specific circumstance. But like a series of unfortunate events, I thought that was terrible from what I saw. I read a little bit of the Umbrella Academy comics, and that adaptation does not look very good either. So I didn't have very high hopes for Bone. I was optimistic, but I think it would have to be a stop motion series because I can't imagine them doing 2D animation. Maybe, probably not. 3D animation would not work for Bone. There's like maybe one or two good looking 3D animated series that don't just look cheap and they don't look right for Bone. I'm thinking of like I don't know, that Blade Runner series looked okay, but it's a totally different feel, you know. On Adult Swim, I think it was. Um, but stop motion, I think, is the perfect medium for Bone. I think it's a great. I think that's a great way they could have told the story. I don't know if that's what they were going to do. I know Jeff Smith said he had a team of people that he really wanted to get for the project, and he got them all. So I think if there was any adaptation of this that was going to work, it would have been the one that was just canceled. So it's a bit of a bummer. Um, but on the bright side, not really the bright side, but just, I don't know. It probably wouldn't have been good. Very rarely adaptations are any good at all, in my opinion. And Bone just seems so impossible to adapt for so many different reasons. Um, I would have loved it if it was great, but it's not the end of the world that it's canceled. We still have the comics. You know, just read the books. They're really good. Just read it.